Okay, let's talk about Jupiter in Leo. This is the transit we're in right now in terms of Jupiter. Jupiter in Leo. We want to talk about working with the light side of these two energies. And so Jupiter is known for being a planet that represents the energy of optimism, faith, expansion, self belief, and luck. Now, we entered this transit around June 30th of 2026, and we will be here in this transit all the way to July 26, 2027. So the Jupiter transits are about 1 year and they go from midsummer to midsummer. And the theme for this transit, Jupiter in Leo, is particularly important because it represents a lighter kind of lesson compared to something like Pluto and Uranus and that type of thing. So let's talk a little bit again about Jupiter. Optimism, faith, expansion, generosity of spirit, self-belief, and luck. Leo, we're talking about visibility, noble leadership, authentic self-expression, creativity, joy, warmth, and being big-hearted. Now, these are the light sides of these planets because we know every planet, every sign has a shadow side. We'll talk about the shadow in a little bit, but we're talking about what we want to embrace is the light side, the lessons we are intended to learn from these cosmic energies. And we don't want to let this event pass us by without taking advantage of it. And you might be wondering, well, why is it important for us to get cozy with Jupiter and Leo? Why is this so important? And here's the truth. When Jupiter in Leo transitions out and Jupiter in Virgo transitions in, we won't get that Leo energy until 2038. Yes, 2038. It takes 12 years for these lessons to recycle. So if we don't catch it now, we're going to have to wait 12 years. So here's what happens. There are 12 themes, 12 lessons that get assigned to all of humanity. And the theme is established by pairing Jupiter with one of the 12 zodiac signs. And those two get together and they cue up a particular lesson. Now, that lesson is activated for all of humanity, but each person is going to have their own unique experience of it. And that's going to be based on how it hits the different planets in their natal chart configuration. So when Jupiter in Leo pairs the energy of the two kings, it has the potential to introduce a lighter opportunity for learning and even good luck. So the next Jupiter lesson will start mid 2027. That's Jupiter in Virgo. Virgo, the sign associated with work, constant self improvement, mastery of craft. That's a very different energy than Leo. So we want to make sure we take advantage of this Leo energy because Leo, it's also associated with play, joy, recreation, romance, creativity, and children. And it has a lightness to it, a playfulness to it, a performant, self expressed style. And so here's another reason we want to tap into that Jupiter in Leo energy. So the Pluto Uranus Neptune configuration is going to challenge us as a collective. And those three together are going to be exposing our shadows, showing us where power has been abused, shining a light on the misuse of technology, showing us the dark side of humanity and asking us to do something about it. This is going to be a long intensive because Uranus is going to be teaching us for 7 years. It's the awakener, the revolutionary, where we're going to have to fight for our freedom. Neptune in Aries is going to be calling out that spiritual warrior. That's going to be a 13-year lesson. And Pluto in Aquarius is going to be looking at what is the price we're paying for so called progress and the dark side of power. That's going to be teaching us for 20 years. So, Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, those are some rather difficult lessons. And this is what that looks like. We get to see our messes, and then we're invited to clean them up. And while this lesson doesn't have to be pure and utter chaos, it doesn't have to be that. Whether it is or not largely depends on our willingness to do what needs to be done to make things right. And so, you know how we are. You know how we are. You can pretty safely say there's going to be some degree of chaos and mayhem involved, because we don't seem to learn our lessons very easily. And we seem to be a species that learns more through our pain than through our joy. But still, we got Jupiter and Leo. Jupiter and Leo compared to that Pluto configuration is going to feel like a sanctuary, a space for joyful exploration where we can gently move outside of our comfort zones and develop a sense of personal power and magnetism and self-expression and noble leadership. That's it's a gift. It's a gift, and if we don't take advantage of it, well, shame on us, right? So, I want you to think of Jupiter as like a energetic sanctuary where we can claim personal victories. It's going to be a reprieve from the heaviness that comes with that Pluto, Uranus, Neptune energy. And we need to learn how to choose optimism over pessimism. And Jupiter in Leo is the perfect teacher for that lesson. We need to learn to stand in our power and claim our personal kingdoms and embody the energy of the good queen, the good king, to be generous with ourselves and with others instead of greedy and harsh and critical. And certainly, we all could use a little good luck. Where we are right now in the world, it's kind of difficult. We're going through something. And right now we can feel overwhelmed and we can feel burdened, and it can lead us to lose our sense of hope. So Jupiter in Leo is the antidote for that. It wants to help us choose choose a positive outlook on the future because we are doing something to create the future we want to have. So the chaos is going to come and the undoing of the old system will happen, but it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be graceful. It's not going to be gentle. And we need to be prepared for that. But right now, we've got Jupiter in Leo. And so thank goodness. Thank goodness for that kind of lesson that doesn't come with a lot of pain if we remember one word of caution. Like every planet, like every sign, it has a light side and a shadow side. All of them have a light side and a shadow side. And so the extreme shadow side of Jupiter in Leo are villains of the worst kind. My husband calls them James Bond type villains. Except in real life, we don't have 007 to come and save the day. We just have ordinary people like you and I. So we've seen this. We're dealing with it. That James Bond type of villain. I want you to imagine, just imagine a mere human declaring that his company will be worth more than the earth. Imagine a man made company being worth more than God's beautiful creation that sustains us all. Like we literally would not be here if we did not have this beautiful planet Earth. But his company is going to be worth more than the Earth. Imagine that. And imagine a mere mortal human saying, it costs less to train AI than to raise children. So we should be happy to divert those resources from children to data centers. Just imagine that. And imagine a dystopian agenda to make humans obsolete, to abuse children for perverted acts of pleasure, to create the surveillance state that we see in sci fi movies, where we've got these flock cameras all over the place and on our devices and in our homes and on people's classes. Imagine a world where leaders think they can commit any crime, betray their constituents without consequences because they have status, they have money, they have power. And I want you to imagine FOMO, the fear of missing out, being so contagious. Businesses abandon business fundamentals, forget all about ROI, and opt to overinvest in an unproven technology based on hype, hope, and greed. Imagine that. Imagine that. It sounds like something out of a really over the top movie, like Hollywood outdid itself. But this is real life. So, this type of grandiosity, this type of megalomaniac, this type of shadowy Jupiter, Leo personality is real. And it is in places of power and in places of influence. So we don't want to be afraid of embracing our power. We want to embrace our power, but we want to do it in the right way. We don't want to run away from power. We don't want to give our power away. We don't want to pretend like we're insignificant and small and we're so humble. No, no. False pride and false humility are both based on lies. False pride and false humility are both based on lies. And we want to stand in the truth. See, the extreme shadow side of Jupiter in Leo, it's scary and it's real. But the light side of Jupiter and Leo is beautiful and it's generous and it's kind. And so this year, we are being given an opportunity to embrace the light side of Jupiter and Leo, to step into the noble side of Jupiter and Leo. We don't want to miss this opportunity because we need the good people to learn to use their power. We need the good people to remember that we are all children of the Creator. We all have gifts and abilities and things we can bring into the world for good. We need to remember our place. We are divine progeny. We are offsprings of a grand and magnificent Creator. There are no stepchildren here. There are no orphans here. We all have access to the positive aspects of this energy, but we have to learn to use it. So that's what Jupiter in Leo is here to help us do. Jupiter in Leo is asking us to step up, think big, play big, be visible, claim your kingdom, and make a positive difference. See, we need to wake up. So, too many of us are walking through life in a trance, a stupor. We're so distracted, we don't notice we are being bamboozled. Every human has a power that has potential for badass execution. Yes, Creator gave that to you. He gave it to me. Now, the question is, what are we going to do with it? Because it's not enough to have power unless we add kindness and compassion to it. We got to choose to be the good human and not the bad one, to embody the energy and the nobility and the dignity of the good queen, the good king, not the bad one. So Jupiter in Leo brings this energy of lightness, of joyfulness, and it nourishes us when we step into its light and we embody it. Because on July 26th, 2027, Leo is saying, bye bye, see you in 12 years. See ya. And then Virgo comes in. And Virgo says, all right, I'm so glad you had a good time with Jupiter and Leo. I am so glad, but now we're here to do some work. We're here to improve things. We're here to polish. We're here to up our game. We're here to develop our crafts and use those abilities to serve the world. So we're going from that lighter, joyful, playful expansiveness into the expansiveness of the craftsperson, the expansion of our skills and our ability to serve one another. So I want to talk a little bit about Jupiter in Virgo because I think it's so brilliant. If you look at the way the lessons are set up, then they happen in the same order every year through that 12-year cycle. It's like you get one energy and then you kind of get a reprieve from that energy, or kind of like the opposite of that energy. So Jupiter is play, Virgo work. So Jupiter in Virgo is going to activate the energy of craftsmanship. Virgo has a strong work ethic and a self improvement quality. So that's what's coming next. It's coming mid-July 2027. We have from now until then to play with Jupiter in Leo. See, the hard lessons will find us. We don't have to go looking for them, they will find us. But we have to be more proactive when it comes to the gifts. So if we want that Jupiter in Leo experience, we're going to have to claim it. We're going to have to do something to seize it, to take hold of it. And this lesson is going to go a long way in changing how we personally and collectively operate in the world because we have given away so much of our power to politicians and so-called genius businessmen and and the billionaire class and people with money and people who are stars and influencers and people who claim to speak for God. We've given so much of our power away that we don't realize we're actually volunteering to go back into slavery, volunteering to be an enslaved species. We're actually volunteering to abandon our divinity and to be reduced to insignificant resources that can be used, abused, and discarded. And Jupiter in Leo says, no, no, that's not what you were created for. Let me show you. Let me show you who you are. Let me show you how to estimate yourself properly. Let me show you how to shine. Let me show you how to be noble, how to lead, how to act with dignity, warm heartedness, generosity. Let me show you how to claim a victory. It's a good time. It's a good time. It's time for the light to win. It's time for the light to claim victory over the tyrants and their dystopian systems. We have to claim this gift. It's ours, but we have to claim it. So I want to talk about Jupiter Leo times. And we want to have a good time learning these lessons. I'm not saying it's going to be all, just a stroll in the park. It's going to make us a little bit uncomfortable because a lot of us are so used to hiding and playing small. We're scared. I know this is me. Even being on you have no idea how much effort and how much I have to talk myself into turning on the camera. Yes, yes. It's not going to be a walk in the park, but it's so much lighter than Pluto, so much lighter than Neptune in Aries, so much lighter than Uranus in Gemini. So, right now, we have Jupiter in Leo opposing Pluto in Aquarius. And so Pluto in Aquarius is about exposing and upending abuse of power. And what Jupiter in Leo is coming in with is saying, let's empower the good king, the good queen. Let's promote the rise of noble leaders. Let's bring in a new class of human that leads from love and compassion and wisdom. Let's empower them. And Pluto is up for that. Pluto is up for that. It's going to knock some people down, but it's up for people using power responsibly. And that's what we want to learn to do. So then we'll go over to the trine to Saturn. Saturn has a bad rap. We'll talk about that in another episode. But Saturn is about work too. Saturn is no joke, okay? So how does Jupiter team up with Saturn? That kind of, you got play and you got the taskmaster. How does that work? Well, when Jupiter starts working with Saturn, it's about focusing on our personal authority, our authentic identity, independent agency, self discipline, and dignity. Now we're going to learn to skillfully use that power in a very disciplined way. And then we're going to go over to the trine and Chiron and Aries. So Chiron, it's the wounded healer if they heal the wounds. If not, it's just a wound, okay? But that's about our identity. So Jupiter in Leo is going to be working with Chiron and Aries. And the healing available there is through self-expression, being seen, being appreciated, having healthy self-identity. See, it's about proving ourselves to ourselves and really letting our human self know you've got a right to exist in this material world. You have a right. Yes, you have a right to exist. So Jupiter in Leo, Chiron in Aries, you have a right to exist. Then we're going to go over and conjunct South Node in Leo. So this gets a little weird because on one minute we're promoting Leo, and the South Node is that karmic lesson, that karmic wounding that we need to address. So this is where we are releasing the overinflated ego, the outdated pride and a toxic need for validation. So that conjunction is going to be there. That South Node, Leo with North Node in Aquarius is going to be there for like 7 months. And so that's about releasing that shadow side. It's going to be working with us to scope out and release the shadow side of the Jupiter Leo energy. Yeah. And so when we see these transit configurations, they're for the whole of humanity. Every human gets these same lessons. But for them to become personal, now we have to integrate them into our personal life. And to really do that intelligently, we have to know something about our personal charts. So I have some resources for you. It's a free download and a hypnotic journey. And when you go through that, I'm also going to provide you a short list of evolutionary astrologers to work with if you want to have a reading, because it's important to know what your chart looks like and what it means. But also, if you want to unwrap your Jupiter Leo opportunities and your cosmic opportunities, you can schedule a session with me. I start with the chart. I start with your natal chart and evolutionary astrology, and then I integrate hypnotherapy and spiritual principles because I support my clients to unlock both their human and their divine potential. So this is a free download for you. You don't have to do anything. It's just free. It's a gift, okay? So these same lessons, we're all having the same lessons, but it's going to look really different when you apply it to your individual lives. And you want to take this personal. You want to take it personal. You want to get everything you can get out of the lessons that are being offered, because whether you realize it or not, we're all in school. Now, we could be magically and intuitively navigating and getting all the lessons and making the grades and learning what we need to learn, releasing what we need to release, embracing. Some people have that going on. They can just intuitively navigate their life. Most of us need a little more assistance, okay? I'm one of those people. And so the next thing we want to realize is we need to reconnect to divine timing. I didn't realize this at first. I couldn't understand that sometimes things would just magically happen. And I'm like, how did that happen? How did that miracle just drop in my lap? And I kept looking and trying to understand what was going on. And it wasn't as arbitrary and as random as I thought it was, but because I didn't understand it, I didn't pull the thread and I didn't get the full benefits because I thought it was just some random event. But when basically it was an open door, a door opened for me, and I needed to walk through it and really claim the victory. But I was not aware that I really needed to play a more assertive and conscious role in truly getting the full benefits. So I missed some benefits. I missed some things. So learning to reconnect to divine timing is really important. And I'll tell you how this has happened to us. Because the way we're socialized, most of us have been disconnected from our intuition and from our own inner wisdom. And so that means we are less likely to take our inklings and those impulses and opportunities seriously. And in our society, and technology plays a really, really strong role in this, we are so distracted, overwhelmed, anxious, and so pessimistic, fearful, and stressed out, and then we've normalized it. And when this happens, we may not even notice when we're being invited to take hold of an opportunity. We may not even notice when a door has opened because we're so busy looking at the door that closed, we don't see the door that opened. We don't hear the quiet whisper of spirit saying, no, no, not that way, this way, go this way, call that person, do this, learn that, stop doing this, do that over there. We miss all of that because our nervous system is so tied up in knots and we're so pulled into the narrative the world gives us. We don't connect with our own inner being in a way that allows it to truly guide us. And this is caused by our social conditioning. It's caused by the influence of social media, news, and external information sources. And the overall effect is it dulls our ability to pay attention, to see the signs and know what they mean. It dulls our ability to receive the guidance that Spirit is offering us. And so that's a problem. And so one of the things we have are tools to help us start reconnecting and working with these cycles. Cycles are a part of nature. Cycles are a part of the cosmic energy. Cycles are a divine unfolding. But we've gotten away from working with cycles. So we want to start going back and picking up some of these skills and working with these cycles. And I want to say that our use of technology and innovation has taken us down a path of self-destruction before. This is not the first time we've encountered a technology that can be so misused, it can literally destroy civilization if we don't use it responsibly. And if we let that power and that use of it be concentrated in the wrong hands. If we let a few people decide, we're going to be in trouble. And this is not the first time we've gone down that road. And it just seems that we are a species that doesn't learn from our mistakes. So we tend to repeat them over and over and over again. And the cosmic ask is, this time, please, please learn from your mistakes. Don't repeat that mistake. Don't underestimate how bad things can get. And don't underestimate your personal power and your collective power to course correct. Don't underestimate your collective ability to put guardrails and controls in place that don't allow a few people to take humanity down the wrong path. Don't underestimate yourself. Really, the big question Jupiter asks is, where are you underestimating yourself? That's for most of humanity. Then you got the other people, it's like, where are you overestimating yourself, overreaching, placing yourself on the same level as God? Where? So that's their question. That's not our question. Most of us don't fall into that category. Thank goodness. But where are you underestimating yourself? See, because as a collective, when we start owning our personal power and we start pooling that power together with one another, we are a force to be reckoned with. We can say no to the technocrats, the oligarchs, and the self-proclaimed rulers and their schemes. They want to own our data. They want to own our attention. They want to own our bodies. They want to own our mental capacities. They want to erase privacy and freedom so that they are the only ones that can thrive in this world. That is not a divine design. That is not the divine design. But we are powerful creators with a small c. And if we don't take hold of our own creative capabilities, to have a positive impact in our world, then we allow these people, these humans, to take us down the wrong path. And so this is what Pluto and Aquarius is putting front and center. It's asking us, where are you ready to self-actualize, to become your best empowered self? Will you take responsibility for your gifts and your decisions and your choices and your actions and how you collectively navigate? Or will you self-destruct? Will you use technology with restraint and wisdom for the greater good? Or will you become a slave to it? This is what Pluto in Aquarius is asking. And Jupiter in Leo says, you are the queen of your personal kingdom. You are the king of your personal kingdom. Now go be a good queen. Go be a good king and stop acting like a herd of sheeple. Now, I'm an animal lover, and I might offend some people, but sheep, they're cute and dumb animals. And basically, they have two paths, off to the barber or the butcher. You are not a sheep. You are not a sheep. And with that, I want to invite you. This is a fun thing. This is a fun activity. I want you to watch Sheep Detectives on Amazon Prime. That is a wonderful movie. It's cute, it's fun, but there is a secret message about the danger of forgetting and the power of remembering. Because in this movie, the Good Shepherd was murdered. Do you get the irony of that? The Good Shepherd was murdered, and the sheep were at risk of being misled, and they had to solve the mystery so that they didn't meet with a destructive end. Does that sound about right? Yeah, that sounds about right. So, watch the movie. It's a great movie. The sheep talk and they're cute. And there's a lesson there. There's a very important lesson there that we need to take to heart. And then I'm going to end with our personal challenge. We end with the personal challenge. Challenge number 1, Jupiter in your natal birth chart. Find out where Jupiter lives in your natal birth chart. Treat it as a gift. This is an open door that you have to intentionally walk through. What talent, skill, opportunity does it point to? Find ways to use it and develop it in a positive way. Challenge number 2, Jupiter in Leo. Download the free Jupiter in Leo playbook in the Hypnotic Journey and work with these resources to create your Jupiter in Leo calendar and reprogram your mind to think big, play big, and be visible. Challenge number 3, resist the shadows. Resist the shadows. Notice where Jupiter Leo shadows are showing up in the behavior of self and others. Don't excuse it. Don't vote for it. Don't invest in it. Don't embody it. Work to release these shadow behaviors. And if necessary, get help. This is serious stuff, people. This is serious stuff. And as always, thank you for joining the Evolutionary Party. This is an evolutionary party. And we've all been invited.